All right, we should be live now. Let's check it out. Can you take a look, Sunny, and see if we're there? Click on the WAYPN review. Are we here? We're live? We're ready? All right, let's do it. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Cal.
I'm Sunny.
All right, let's get this party started. So, first off, we're starting with Cal Vanoni, More Chaos Demons. You ready?
Are we not going?
No, because we did that one last week.
Oh, we didn't do this one yet?
Yeah,
okay.
Did we do this one last week? Oh, I think you're right. I think we did actually do this one last.
Yeah, More Chaos Demons. Yeah, so it should be Paul Inman.
All right, so next up we have Paul Inman.
Yes.
And said, I think we actually did the yes Friday night. I think that's where we ended.
Too?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do? I crack open a beer, and then we're on to this one. Did we? I feel like we might have talked about this guy as well. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. All right, would you like to read out?
And here we have the results of my relaxing evening. The first of the 4 Musketeers. Aramis, for some reason, when I started painting him, I thought it was Athos. No idea why. In a way, I am glad I did him first. He's my least favorite model of the 4, partly because the face had virtually no detail, and partly because I hate painting black. I know I could have painted him a different color, but for board games, I try to match the miniatures to any in-game artwork. To do the black, I kind of have a cheat. It won't win any awards, but it doesn't look too bad. I just paint it dark grey and then wash it with black. Sounds good.
Yeah, yep. So it's very similar to a contrast the way he works it. So I'm just going to say hello to Marcelo, to Oshiba, and to Iskander.
Yes, everybody is here on time.
So I feel like the only things here that I can say is that it doesn't quite have a lot of depth. What do you think?
Yeah, I think in the white.
In the white?
In the white.
Yeah, definitely in the white. I think everywhere else it's fine. It's not the best, but I think the white needs a lot of
shadowing.
Yeah. I feel like maybe adding a Soulblight grey to the ruffles and such might help.
Yep.
But I think unfortunately, unless he gets an ink, there's not a lot to do with some of these parts around the skirting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think that's really gonna be helped a whole lot.
What do you think of like a oil pin washing or anything like that?
I think it'd be too harsh. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are occasions where, for example, Games Workshop does succeed, and I think Soulblight Grey was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let us move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Unless you've got anything extra to say that I haven't said.
All
right. So next up we have
Mr. Derek Wong.
All right, would you like to read out this very long title?
Bress, the old barbarian is.
All right, so let's take a look. So this has taken some doing. I think let's take a look at the things that we haven't seen as much. So I feel as if, like, the thing is when it comes to showcase level painting, we should give showcase level feedback. So we'll be a lot harsher than this one, for example, than we were on the previous model, which was done in a single evening.
Mm-hmm.
But when I take a look at it, the thing that I think is, like, the steel is done up in very varying degrees of excellence. So, like, right here along the bracer right there looks very nice, but let's just focus on the bracer for a moment. So I'm gonna over here, I don't feel that came through as well. What do you think?
I feel like the reflections are in the right place, but maybe the one that is the most obvious facing us could be a bit brighter. I feel like in that angle. Yeah, see
Yeah,
how
see,
bright
like,
it gets
yeah,
there?
I think that's a lot better.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I was talking about. For
Yeah, like
example, I
that
think
same
this,
brightness on that one that
yes,
you're pointing.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
exactly.
that would work. Yeah.
So, even within the same things, like, I think this looks excellent. And I think, even there's one behind right here, this reflective thing. But I feel like the entire heft of the hammer, where I
Uh,
do believe this is meant to be a non-metallic metal, but I'm not sure. I don't think that succeeded at all.
yeah, it looks a bit of flat in that angle.
I think it looks a bit flat on quite a few angles, but let's take a look now at the Steelers shield.
Mm.
I feel that this is done very well, the way that he's done it, especially the way that he's matched to this brass/gold.
Yep.
But I feel like the brass/gold is off a little here because it feels much more like a soft metal. What do you guys think? What do you think?
I think it could be the yellowness that has been it brought to the forefront that might be throwing things a bit.
Okay, so what Marcelo says is multiple light sources made reflections confusing. Yeah. So I think that I don't, so especially on a broad surface like a shield, I think that he's done really well carrying through the reflections.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, like, we've got this slight reflection here and that full reflection here. I think that looks really nice. And now, follow me here. I know that it doesn't seem right, but you see how we see that slight glistening there?
Yes.
I think that that follows along with here because we've sort of got a light coming from above.
Yep.
That's how it feels. I think that looks very nice, but I feel like the colors of all of the yellow gold.
So Marcelo is saying it feels molded shield too much green. I
Mm,
think there's not enough green.
no, so I think he's talking about these little
there?
reflections.
Okay.
I so
So
I'm not sure on that. So there's a couple of ways to take that. It's reflecting the gold back in, right, and gives a slight greenish hue
to the thing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't
Or-
look unnatural within the steel.
Yeah, no. So I don't agree with that. However, I do feel as if you're going to do such a thing right there, I think that instead add a hint of blue here. If you're going to include, I do believe that's called ambient occlusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you see some, so like that would be the sky. Reflecting black.
Yep.
And so if that's the shield reflecting the thing, I don't think you put your power button on.
No, it's just because I haven't moved any.
No, because PowerPoint's not on there.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I think with all of that,
Yeah.
I think we've given pretty much all of that feedback we can on this.
I think Marcelo, he didn't quite.
The greenish hue is a silver with rich gold, not consistent with the colors he chose. I understand what you're saying, the greenish hue, but see, the greenish hue can be used as a reflection of the gold because it won't reflect back its true color.
Because it will mix with the grays of the gold.
Yes.
And I am saying in the sense that I think he's got the right idea in terms of the green. I think that's why the gold of the brass looks a bit like the soft metal, like you said, because I think it needs a bit more of a greenish tint. It's too yellow. Because I can think of the model right now in my head that
I think it should be I think it should be toned down a lot back into your browns to make it a more brass look. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Now, and finally, this will be the last of us sort of giving him a hard time because after this, it's pretty much all praise. The belt buckle and the brass hammer once again, both of these feel far too gold. Like it,
for a brass.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
cause
too warm. No, wait, no.
what it's too light. It's too light. And it's not brown enough. There's not enough warm reds in there, so it seems closer to a gold with how bright it is. And when I take a look at it, that's how I interpret it. Like,
so it's got to be a bit more like bronzy, something like.
So
Like
I
something
think
like that?
my usual metallics is a lot closer to how it should look. And see, usually my metallics are well because they're meant to be a gold. But they look like a brass.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can find was it
Is this it? Like this feels more brown? Because I feel like that's more the browns.
Give me one moment, please, and I will see if I can find something quickly. So there is I'm just trying to find a quick thing. Sorry, we're scrambling everywhere to find this thing. Okay, so I think the Elydian Star Striders is probably a good example. Okay. This guy. I think, can I get a different shot of him here? Okay. Are you going to load? Okay, right here. We see now, I think that he's done the technique a lot more smooth. Right? I'm not saying that this is better than his, right? Because he's obviously put a lot more work into it. I'm talking about colors exclusively. I am not speaking about
technique.
Yeah. So if we take a look at these, they look more brass, right?
Yep.
And these look more gold. So we see I go quite high right here with the brass here and along there. So it does have that sheen, but when I take a look at it, and we'll turn it around to the other side to see some of the brighter sides, right? See, all of this seems very gold, especially when compared with this. Now we take a look at this, right? And it seems to be an in-between of those two there, right? And it feels just too warm, too it doesn't feel right. Technique wise, I think that he's done great. So like that fade that he's got there, and then to the very bright, I think this right here isn't done as well. But that's about it for, as far as criticisms go. I think his skin work is just about perfect.
I like how he's added a gloss. Nice and oily.
No, that's not a gloss. That is him actually adding all of those white marks. So that's not even a gloss. He may have added a gloss in here, but I don't think so. I think he's just brought that up. So that's absolutely beautiful. Now, I just want to do one more comment with the skin before we move on to it. But you see how all of it's brought out. It looks like real natural skin. Even here, right? You got to remember that skin has a reflective quality, so it's got some ambient inclusion. We've got a lot of comments. So it's a brown gold in the mid. He's a poor Viking, excessive copper mix. Check the V on his chest. Looks like he's been in the sun before. You got the point. Looks like polyurethane painted gold. I like the gauntlet's non-metallic metal. Yeah, no, the gauntlet is some of the best, I think. I think the gauntlet comes up really well. So I think the leather here is really, it's actually quite good, but it's hidden behind the fact that the gold is much more showy and the skin is much more showy. I think that this right here, all of this woodwork, those scratches, all of these small little things is just perfect. In fact, I think it hides the only part where his skin is off, which is the hands. Because I think the hands not quite as good as the rest of the skin.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. It does look like it sort of melded in together with the hands a little bit. But
yeah, so then finally it's his beard work, and I think that his beard work is good, but I think you could go up to a brighter shine along some of those high points. What do you think?
maybe I feel like he's going for almost that studio cinematic photography look,
Yeah.
where the way the lights are. I feel like that's how it looks right now.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fair because he does seem very reflective.
Yeah.
So, here's what I'll say, dude. I think that you've shown off all of the technique and brush control in the world, right? Like we can see with your shield how you followed those contour lines much better than I would have. But the thing is, I just think that the color choice is off because with those colors, it just looks too bright. It looks off. I liked the green with the ambient occlusion, but I think if you're going to do some ambient occlusion, do all of it. So do the blue from the sky, maybe even some brown from the ground, that sort of thing. I think that this is an amazing piece, and I wouldn't have spent as long talking about it as I did if I didn't care about it, because I think this is an absolutely fantastic piece.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy to have that on the cabinet, but like I said, when somebody's going to do showcase level work, I'll do my best to give showcase level feedback. All right, shall we move on? All right, let's I'll just quickly take a look at the comments before we move on. So hammer looks like a dirty brass. Yeah. I think he looks like he's under lots of light so it doesn't look natural. Yeah, like Sunny said, the sort of studio thing.
Like the cinema poster kind of
Yeah.
photography.
So competing in a Mr. Olympia competition. I guess that's one way of looking at it. But next up, we have what your schemes say about you. And we thought that this was pretty good, but apparently people aren't as interested in it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. All right, next up, we have Joseph. Would you like to read out for him?
Okay. I've hit my first goal for the weekend. Everything is done except the medals and the bases. And there's still at least 7 minutes of daylight left.
All right, so it's interesting seeing each of the updates, and man, that looks like a nightmare to paint. The red and the blue, but I think it comes out very, very nicely. But I wonder how this guy is going to turn out, because this guy looks a bit ill-defined as it is.
Yeah.
Like, so I wonder what will happen with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will soon see, because it's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly come together. All right, so next up we've got Iskander.
Oh.
Brace yourself for a picture dump. All right.
Commissioned work, Dark Angel Chaplain.
All right, let's take a look.
Well, the photos are amazing. That's for one.
Yes, he's done very well with the blur, but I think he should try for the... But I guess he's just photoing each time he's doing a step.
Yeah, so I think it doesn't matter, because like once
that leather's very nice.
Yeah. The background is blurred enough that you can see what's happening with the picture.
The leather on here is also very nice.
Stress.
but we'll see it come to life.
I really love the what is that? The trench coat cape.
Yeah, I guess you could call it a trench coat. It's meant to be a cloak,
Yeah,
but
cloak.
so we'll see it come to life a bit more.
The golds are very.
Coming in a bit more. Okay, here it is. So, considering the level of work on everything else, I think the eyes could be worked on.
Like a bit more brightness, right?
Yeah, but also more definition. I think one of the things that would really help with this is a pin wash to really sink them into the recesses, right? Also, we must remember that this is a commissioned piece.
Yes.
So, there's a certain level of time. So the whites come up here really beautiful. I like the white here, especially when it's compared to the cream of the cloak.
Yeah, that white is very cold.
Yeah, I think that the leathers come up really well. I like the bones that he's done on his chest.
Yes.
Just taking a look at the rest of it. The base definitely needs work though. The base makes it feel unfinished, to be honest. Like, I understand, that different people will request different things, but I like if you don't do a base up, often people will feel as if the miniature itself is unfinished, even if it's painted very, very well. It lacks depth of any kind, but yeah. So I think the Dark Angel shoulder pads come through very well. Yeah, so these are our final shots. All right, I'll just go to the comments and see if Iskander said anything.
He's saying thank you.
Yes, I don't know how to say that one. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me is just those eyes. Because when I take a look at the eyes, so the eyes are quite nice, right? But they need a bit more definition, a bit more piercing, and the base needs depth. It's not a want at this stage.
He says the client wants it very plain.
Ugh, okay. You got to do what the client wants.
I feel like even small tufts of grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
the client wants it like that.
Yeah. I understand that. I've been in that position before, and you're just like, are you sure?
Was it the D&D models?
Yeah. Oh, they've got to be. He's in a black cloak and a black in black clothing, and he's got black skin, and I'm like,
I can just prime in black, and he'll be done.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, you need some color variation. All right, so next up we have Larry Hassenflug.
Oh, Larry. Didn't feel like working on the car today, so I just put down some base layers on kind Inquisitor Erasmus, and then brush on some primer for the little grots and missile launcher, so I can paint later and attach it to the car.
Well, look, this is part of it. Like, this is part of seeing those steps. So Derek Wong was working on that piece for a very long time, and I didn't want to say, I didn't want to say too much with each of the completing steps. And same here, it's just base layers, but that's good. That's what we are about. We are about works in progress, then seeing the final finished project.
Yee.
All right, so next up we have Navi.
Yeah, Navi. Well, I've been dipping my toes into some corn puddles of not blood, and you know what? I'm feeling the red thirst. This is my first Warcry Warband, and I gotta say, I'm loving the sculpts for the skirmish game. This might just push me to buy the Blades of Corn Spearhead box as well. Also, for those wondering about the magma fur effect, it's surprisingly simple. Base coat with burnt orange or any matte orange that you have. Paint top half of the fur with yellow. The brighter, the better. And then a final highlight or dry brush on top with the humble black paint. As for the base, well, it's not my strongest suit.
Yeah, so when it comes to basing here, here's what I would do. I would, just keep what you've got there, right? And then do some whites and do some yellow and oranges and so on. And then just put a black crackle paint over what you've already got and get yourself a magma effect. Because as it stands, your base is very much taking away from your model. I'm just going to tell the truth, and I'm sorry if it hurts, but it does look like a child's finger painting at the moment, the basing. And the reason why I'd really like you to put in that effort into the basing is because I think you put a tremendous level of effort into the model itself, and I think it looks quite nice. I think that the magma fur looks nice. I don't think it's the standout feature. The feature for me was more just the skin. I like the way that you've done the skin. It's quite nice. It's not over the top. It's good. It's nice. I think that the red highlighting's come up nice with the fur cloak. It's just nice. It's like, I wouldn't say it's the greatest in the world. I'd say that it serves its purpose. I think that everything there looks very nice. This is a good model.
Yeah, and I think just putting the crackle paint over the base will just bring the attention back to the model.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that will really, really make your model pop a lot more. And also, black rim your base. Mm-hmm. That will really help it
focus
come to
again.
life. Yeah. Like, I think it's a lot better model than is given credit for with its current basing. All right, so next up we have
Jose.
All right.
Achievement unlocked. Metallics done. Can I get them based and varnished before bed?
All right.
I don't know.
Well, I think this guy's come up a long way. All right.
I really love the gold.
Yeah, the gold of her helmet.
That
sheen. I think that his gold has come a long way. Do you remember when we used to have those gold and they used to be quite plasticky?
Yeah.
I think that the skin of this guy has come up a tremendous amount and makes it more of a feature of the model now. I think it looks quite nice.
With that, not so sure about the nice dark fella there.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. I feel like his skin feels a bit on the flat side.
Yeah, feels ill-defined. I think it's because he's wearing a jacket. No, not wearing a jacket. He's got this leather on him.
Straps.
And see, the leather is similar to the color of his skin.
Yeah.
So it sort of blends together quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the issues with it.
Yep, I would agree.
But when I take a look at some of these other people, right, I think that they look done to me almost. Like the only thing that I would look is to have just some little extra details on the bases and painting the rims. They're looking all really good right now. So let's move on to the next.
So this is the artwork that he's trying to follow.
Yep, would you like to read out his post?
It's 9 p.m. and I'm finally finished. I was hoping to start the next project today, but I'm happy with my results. I'm not painting those tattoos. I'll never do them right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where's the tattoos? Oh, okay, I see them.
So let's take a look at this lady. So I'll just switch back to up here so that you can see it all together.
It's quite different. Okay, that's his model.
Yeah, so down here, I like the extra shrub. I think with the painted rim, I have no complaints of this model. I look at it and it's achieved exactly what it's meant to achieve. So I think Joseph is very much the master of this, going, all right, I'm going to do tabletop plus. I'd really call this character level because I think he says tabletop plus a lot of the time to sort of do the Scotty effect from Star Trek, under, put it down,
Yeah.
himself a bit, and then he doesn't have to like face as high expectations. I'd call all of these character level. That's where I'm going to put them. Oh, okay. It makes a lot more sense now. So before, I thought that this was an explosion or something.
Oh, okay.
So these are trees she's running
Oh, she's
through.
running over trees. These are
Yeah.
very big guys.
Yeah. They're all titans, right? And I think that done up in that way really brings this model more to life. But I feel as if you should face her the other way, because I think the other way that she's been shown off this whole time with the gold on the head, I think that looks quite nice. I'm not quite sure how much of her is covered up by the sidebar here. But yeah, like the way that he's done up the trees and that, just nothing crazy, just nice.
It would be nice if the models had those flying birds sculpted in as well, like they do with the Celestine model.
I do think that he could have added this little, hair sheen along the tummy.
I think he tried to do that. Oh, no, you're right. It didn't quite come.
Yes.
I do see like a bit of a line, but it's not quite as
Yeah,
prominent.
you're talking about the previous post, yes. So I think this one, it looks good, but I think the sculpt isn't really helping him out.
Yeah, I think they didn't define
the sculpt well enough. No, I would agree with that. So I think this guy looks fine, but I think once again he's one of the least interesting of the sculpts. Like, I'm a big guy with a bow.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what's your feature? Tattoos. We can't paint tattoos. We're not that good at it. Did it come with transfers? No.
Yeah. The Harpoon Boy.
I think that the Harpoon Boy looks a lot better because there's something to sort of carry the visual interest with the harpoon itself. It goes, follow this line to the head, right? And then you've got everything else to look at. Yep. Especially with the placement. Like this is sort of a masterclass in how to base. So I'm going to open him up a bit. So this base comes with him. Now, I'm not sure whether this is his specific base or Joseph made it, right? But you see how this column right here doesn't fight any of the rest of the model. Mm-hmm. It's just stuff like that. And I think that this shrub's a little out of place. Like, usually I'd put it just a little bit further forward, but like that's pretty freaking minor. I just think that placement is exactly what I was talking about with Iskander before last week when we were saying, you got to know where to put the shrubbery and such. Mm-hmm. So I think they all look quite nice. They do the job that was intended, right? They're all character level. Where is the other pose of her? Do we see? See, I feel like this is one of the better poses of hers. Do we have one more? No. So there's sort of one which faces like this way. I think that would have been the golden angle for her. Because it seemed like that. This guy, they have more in the concept art. They have more straps and pants on him. But here he's
definitely got a lot more things that looks like.
Yeah.
In the concept art, but
it looks like here I
think in this angle it kind of really shows all the doodads.
Yeah, I feel like this guy was let down by the sculpting. This guy, whoa, he is.
You can't see him at all.
He is African. The white balancing really kills him on this background.
Yeah. Might need to increase the brightness.
No, I think it's fine. But yeah, so there we go. They're all there. I feel like they hit that character level where you want them. All right, so next up we have Lance Davenport.
Worked with the detail I had, tried working in a marble pattern into the base with little success. Well, it kinda looks like marble, but it's more like a stone slab.
I think it looks like a stone, but I'll get you to comment a bit more on this one because I've been saying quite a bit.
I think the contrast is perfect. Lovely blue, dark blue with the nice bright yellow. He's tried to define the ridges of the snake with the orange. The eyes are nice and clear. He's tried to do
I thought the eyes were some of his best work, to be honest.
Yeah, you can definitely see that there's a few colors in there, and he's tried to do some highlighting, and everything really pops. Everything has a definition to it. Great choice of colors.
Great choice of colors.
Great choice of contrast. I'm not particularly mad about this base, the marble base.
I think it works, especially with such a vibrant miniature.
Yeah.
So it brings all of the attention to the miniature, but I do feel as if it was black rimmed, that the marble effect would look nicer.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think. Yeah, maybe.
It's hard to tell though.
Hard to tell, yeah.
All right, so I'll talk a bit for the next one a bit more. So we've got Frank McQueen.
McCohen, I think.
No, he wants to go fast. He's got a need for speed.
He's definitely red, like McQueen.
And I'm sure that he's going to win the race.
He's gonna get the Piston Cup.
The Piston Cup?
The Piston Cup.
All right, would you like to read out?
Before and after, one is halfway, airbrushed, oil washed, and base coated. One just needs some basing and final weathering. It is, my boys, the Blood Angels.
I feel like, considering the steps that he said that he's gone through, it feels fantastic. It feels like he's put a lot more effort than just base coat, oil wash. You know, I understand that that very much could be the case, but when I look at it, I'm just like, my good lord.
Sorry, I think we should probably read the comments.
Why?
There's been comments.
Is there? Okay, so yeah, no, I've read the comments.
Bronze, rose gold greaves.
Yeah, he was talking about with the previous models.
Oh, and Marcelo say Blood Angel Aussies.
Yes, but yeah, I really think that all of this comes up quite nicely.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say is I would much prefer this taken in a light box because it competes a bit with some of the things in the background, which are looking quite nice, I have to say.
Yeah.
And, you know, it serves as quite a bit of a distraction.
But I think he's trying to show, like, the consistency of it.
Yeah.
Like, take a look at the army. The painting is all quite consistent.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't actually agree with that because I take a look at this jump pack guy and there's a lot of work done on him, a lot of highlights and such.
I can see it from here. It's very far.
Yeah.
But it's like you can see all that.
So I think that all of this looks absolutely fantastic. And I like seeing that point of comparison, seeing how he's got it done up here. But you know what I have to say is absolutely fantastic. I know it's not as interesting, but just how smooth the decals are on these. Like, they look so integrated. They don't look like something separate at all, do they?
Something that's stuck on there, because sometimes it can look that way.
Yeah, especially when it's got the sheen around it.
Yeah, like you can see that clear outline outside the thing.
Yeah.
So that's very well done.
All right, so you've got the next one?
Yeah. Right, next we've got Cass, and he's doing battle midgets.
Yeah.
We've got the dwarves, and they're looking very nice. I do like the stark bright yellow against their black and white theme. And I really like the choice of that dark green and casing barrel. I don't know what it's called. A lovely use of silvers, and he's gone for a contrasting kind as well with the shine of the metals compared to some of the matte finishings of like maybe the casing and other things. So I think he's definitely hit all the nice points. They're looking very neat and tidy. My only complaint would be that I wish I had this to play with when we
when you had your game instead of, because they were not fully painted.
They were not fully painted at the time.
And you found it very confusing.
Very confusing. Especially, I think, also because they didn't have heads at the time.
Yeah, they didn't have heads.
They didn't have heads either, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was a bit confused when we were playing that, but I think he's done a good job with this.
All right. Well, let us move on.
Right, so we got Kit Strong.
All right, so... I nicked your idea of using a half-color wet palette. I've been using a dry palette more lately, and the Red Gas games. Yeah, it does take up a lot of space. We're using the Scale 75 one, I believe.
It comes with the box.
Oh, yeah, we got it with a Kickstarter, so, like, we sort of just got it. But, yeah, so, works a treat, though. Personally, I prefer... the Maston Stat. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna nod my head.
Masterson Star Wet paper.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's called Star Wet.
I don't know. Let's move on to Connor.
Connor.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
More blood, less blood. I have 4 more to do.
Yes, and so I said, of course. Screaming, more blood. Sorry, I had some cornflakes. My bad.
He's quite tortured.
Yeah, well, so, see, the thing is, this is a Necron with the flare virus, and I haven't exactly explained this to you before, but they have, since they know that they're robots, they have this mental disconnect, right? And so they cut off people's skin and put it on themselves so that they feel... human or Necron again, because they know that like something's wrong, and
that's sad.
Yeah, it is a little sad. It's a kind of
actually like it as is.
Yeah,
now that I hear the story, I like it as is. Continue on, Connor. Continue on.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. The only thing I would say is if you're going to do something like this, instead of doing like globs of blood. So I think the way that you've done the blood right here is quite nice. All I would do is, for example, over here, just have some little streaks of blood running down. Like, that's the only thing I would do. But I think Sunny's right. I think
I like it
as is probably best.
Yeah.
All right, so next up,
what this?
We have Talk Tuesday.
Talk Tuesday.
And guys... you only have, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Tuesday.
And then gone. No, they don't have Tuesday.
No Tuesday.
Because once it's Tuesday morning, it's gone. So you
got
4 days.
Gone forever.
4 days to watch all of our lore videos. All right. Yeah. So, next up, we have Derek Wong.
Once again. He calls this a whip.
Yeah,
it's almost finished.
I would say, yeah, I'd agree.
Is it the sketching? Is he doing the sketching again?
I think so. I think he's going for another showcase level model.
Definitely looks like it.
I wonder how big this guy is. Like, I take a look at all of it, and I don't think his sketching is as dramatic as before. So I really wonder where it will go, but also... I think that dark side of the mask is really gonna come out, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we'll see where it comes, because I was very impressed with the model before, obviously, because I spent almost 20 minutes talking about it.
Yeah. A long time, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like he deserved it because of the amount of work that he put into it. Like, if somebody's gonna put the work in, you should put the work in to comment on it. That's my thought anyway. Like, he might not appreciate all of the feedback, but I feel like it was definitely deserved. Okay, so the right one looks more like a Space Marine. The left one looks like Black Rage lost to Chaos. Oh, I think that was with the guys.
Did we miss it again?
Yeah, back here.
Marcelo thinks that this current one, the Derek Wong one, is good.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great work.
Yeah.
Especially for a whip.
And this is a chaos guy, right?
Yep.
Oh,
then,
look at this.
Nora Skander, I got bored waiting for the mailman.
So I painted a fire token. I love it.
Yeah, it's very cartoony, but I mean, like, it feels like the cartoony style.
Yeah, it's got that. It still has that. It's a nice soft glow. I like that.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing wrong with it, but I also feel like it feels, because you can almost see the airbrushing on it, especially with, I do believe this is a 3D print.
Yeah, I can see some of the layer lines.
Either that, or when they molded it, the 3D print was still...
They did not clean the lines before
They did not
molding
clean the lines at all.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I think it looks great. But yeah, like that's all I had to say on that one, unfortunately. All right, so well done. And next up we have
John Gas.
Gas, gotta give it the gas.
Haven't gotten to paint as much lately as I would have liked, but here's the progress on the White Dwarf. I left one picture with normal lighting just to see the difference.
Okay, so we'll see. I think this is the normal lighting.
This is a bit
with the
more
light
lighting
on. So I think under the normal lighting we can see more definition with the beard. I think that the axes come a long way. But I think also this orc shield in the back. I think the axe is looking really good, but I think a lot of our commentary sort of remains. What do you think? Do you think the beard looks good enough now? Or does it still need definition? Because here's in the normal light, and then here's in the bright light.
I think if he goes any further than this, it's going to look funny.
Okay.
So I think this is the stopping point.
I don't know. I think like its whites could be pushed, to give those highlights a bit more.
I don't know. I feel like with the whites, it's definitely white enough.
Yeah, but like so, he's got the in the normal light, it's got the shadowing.
Yeah.
But I think like but I guess it is always the white problem that problem. It does not come up well. So next up we have
Larry,
and he's doing more throwbacks.
Good. So here's a little throwback. Something I did decades ago. The robes in this cloud giant sculpt inspired me to use colors borrowed from my favorite artist, Michelangelo.
Well, when I take a look at him, he just looks like, to me, he doesn't look like a sort of standard miniature. It sort of looks like man answers door with dog. No, I'm serious though. Like that's sort of the feel.
But with the artificial fan blowing in the background.
Yeah, no. It's the sort of like that dramatic movie where somebody bangs on the door. Are you my father?
And then this is the guy that opens the door and says, "Hello."
Yes.
And then the child goes, "You my dad?" What? You know?
But let's move on before we get lost in our own fantasies.
Look,
there's no one here on the thing to tell me what I've done wrong. So I've got to bring up an important message by the Kaiser. So this is what the Kaiser said, and I feel like it's very appropriate. Would you like to read it out?
Yes. Wow, I love this thing you made.
Thank you. Now I must immediately point out all of the things I did wrong on it.
Art thing.
And I feel like that's exactly how I feel here. I think that the Zenithal came up quite nicely. But I think when I moved on and did some more updates, it didn't come out as well. So next up we have
Larry.
All right.
Started the spoopy with Shub Niggurath from Cthulhu. Death May Die. I plan on having it lit from underneath, like from Hellfire, rather than natural light. So I primed it not with a zenithal, but with, well, I guess a Nadiral Prime. Then airbrush skin tones over it. Not done with the skin, just the first 2 layers, but here you go.
So I think if that's the case, the way that you've got it primed right now, I think you need to darken the top. Because see, when he's got it like this one, or
Yeah,
like
I like
here,
that.
like that, I think looks good. But now take a look at when the skin is on.
Yeah, so
it's all everywhere, right? And now he's done this underlighting, right? But this area should be darker. I think honestly he should just get the black and do a zenithal of black from above now and sort of set the values that way. What do you think?
think not so sure about black, but definitely a much darker version of this flesh tone.
Because it just feels like at the moment when we see it that it's just too bright up there.
Yeah.
It's too bright. And it feels like it doesn't have that level of imposition that it had before, where it's like, I am very scary.
Yeah.
All right, next off, it's your best friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, been a while, haven't had the urge to paint, but managed to get best painted in a local competition recently and got a new Blood Bowl team. Chris Tattersall sorted me out with some really nice prints. Let the work begin.
Yeah, the prints do look quite nice.
Very nice.
They're very characterful. You know, this is one of the things that I very much like Blood Bowl for. Like, they have such interesting prints. But I have to say that Blood Bowl has the most ludo-narrative dissonance of any game ever. Because, like, all of the models, all of the way that it's sort of shown off artistically says, oh, this is a very fun and whimsical game. But it feels as if, oh no, Marcel has gone. I missed goodbye.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
it feels like a very fun and whimsical game if you were to judge by the miniatures. But the game itself is not fun and whimsical at all. It feels more like chess. Yeah. But yeah, so it's great start. I think that the blues come through really nicely. You know, like, it's hard to say anything at this stage because it's all just whips. So we will move on.
Welcome back, Iskandar.
All right, so now you guys can start giving me a very hard time because I definitely stuffed up here.
So we've got an update since this morning.
Yes, so I pushed the green way too harshly. You can see that, especially on this side. But I do this after the.
This is before.
Yeah, this is before.
This is before. This is after you've tried to fix that. Yeah,
so I put an oil wash on it and brought it back down. And I did quite a few of the interior parts. But as anybody who has done a Nurgle model before, you know, there is a lot of POCs to do. There is a lot of things, and you're most probably going to miss things. So this was the color gradient the client approved of. Right, and here he is here, so he's considerably brighter still, I would say. I think that he doesn't quite come up. He's still quite bright, but I've done a bit more on him since, so yeah, I think hopefully he will be coming along shortly. But we will see, and you can judge me soon. Alright, so next up we've got Victor Stark. I think I must have missed his one because there is no thing there. Either that or it's put in the wrong one. Yeah, okay, there seems to be... Yeah, alright.
I think, the jungle terrain is slowly coming together. I think for the next bit, I'd like to make an overgrown statue or something else appropriately Eldarish.
You know, I take a look at it, and it just does its job. Like, this is one of the things that I would like people to appreciate. So like I said with Joseph's thing, right? don't give yourself too much of a hard time, right? Don't put yourself down too much. Like this is great terrain, right? And you know what this will not do? It will not fight the models on the table.
Oh, definitely.
And
It's just an environment, you know. It's
yeah,
just to create a bit of
and
atmosphere.
and like none of it's bad. None of it is bad at all. I look at it, I think it looks nice. I really like the trees and shrubbery. I think that the sort of camo tents look nice, but they certainly don't look overdone. I think that they look very plain for what they are. But they work. But these various things where he's used various what would you say, aquarium plants and things like that, it works great. Like especially this one here and the one next to it. I think they look fantastic. All right, let us move on. And next up, it's Throwback Thursday. # Throwback Thursday. We so you might remember this bloke. He's been pretty quiet, but he's been working hard. And this is Brushstrokes How to Dry Brush Better. Guys, honestly, check this out. It is an absolutely fantastic piece of work. This will make you a better painter. If dry brushing is something that you don't understand, this will explain everything to you. But I do think that he was missing one thing, which is the fact that he only ever dry brushed in one direction.
Oh, right. He didn't verbally
say that, but you do see it in the video. You don't see him dry brushing back and forth.
Yeah, up and down.
Like a lot of people do. Because that's the natural thing to do. So next up, we have myself. Another update. Very gross. If you don't like, don't zoom. So here is the leg wound.
Yep.
And I think that I've done pretty well with it. So what this is
blisters?
Yeah, no. So I'll just tell how I actually did it. So first off, it's sandry dust, and then after that, it's highlighted with a what is that called? What's the pale color we use all the time for skulls and stuff? A Sharpie bone.
A Sharpie.
Then it's highlighted with a Sharpie bone. Then it's sort of drowned in a Iridian yellow. What's it called? The
Imperial Fist yellow.
No, not Imperial Fist.
And the other one, but I don't. Yeah. It's that Eldar name, right?
Yeah, Eandon yellow. So it's drowned in that, and then I reapply the highlights, and then what I do is I mix Blood for the Blood God with airbrush mix medium, and then I apply it, and while still wet, I get the Sharpie bone, and I will pull it through the Blood for the Blood God to give that pus-like effect. The faces Sunny is making she is not happy.
Yes.
But yeah, and you see I've added on some of those wounds around there, I've added the watered down Blood for the Blood God, but it's not water, it's airbrush mix medium. And just put it around some of the wounds. Let's see, what else have we got? Oh, we've got some of the fatty flesh revealed here.
Yep.
And so what I did was the Xandri dust, the pale, and then I did a light coat of the Eandon yellow to give it that fatty feel. And then some of that coat then I used just a skin color. And then I think it's Pale Flesh by Scale 75. And then I use the blood over that to give it pulled back skin effect.
I feel that although you might feel that the green is not correct and all that, I think all these additional detailings has, in my opinion, really brings out the grotesqueness of a Nurgle model or a Nurgle faction, whatever you might have. and you can like have a greater appreciation of that grotesqueness through this color choice than the box art.
The pale
Yeah,
color.
cause like it looks gross, but it doesn't make you feel like you want to run away from this thing.
Oh, you're saying when it's that pale color from before?
Yeah, cause like you can see, because I think with the box art, a lot of the colors sort of.
And I'll just interrupt you for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you've got something to say, please type it while Sunny's explaining.
Please type it in the chat.
All right, so yeah.
I think maybe because there's that more contrast between the purple and the pinks and the yellows and the flesh tones.
I'm pretty happy with that purple shadowing.
Yeah,
I'm not as happy with the green though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could try to fix that later on, but like I think that effect of that rotting flesh, the blistering wounds, that pain, I can feel that pain of these wounds and how it's just like sort of falling apart, and I can feel how it might feel if your skin was falling out of yourself, like the gravity of it with the way that these things have been defined. But in the box art, because everything sort of, the greens and the yellows, they're all quite samey, so you don't have that same level of appreciation, I would say. Nurgle appearance on my 60-pound life. Wait, are you sure it's 60 pounds? Is 60 pounds that heavy?
I think it's meant to be 600-pound life.
Yeah, 600 pounds.
There's some people who I've seen, and I've just been like,
they need an industrial scale to measure their before weight.
Oh my god! Yeah. You know, the thing is, what like, look, I'm not exactly skinny hunk life right now, but at what weight do you need to be where your body thinks that storing fat in your forehead is a good idea?
Huh?
Have you not noticed?
I've never seen that before.
I've seen, well, I'm not going to show these people to you, but like they've got fat in their forehead, which makes their forehead come forward.
What the heck? I've never seen.
Oh, it is
like a beluga whale.
It will make you a wee bit too bright green.
Yeah. We're not too sure how to fix that.
Yeah, so I sort of agree with you on that. Maybe what I could do is well, there's two ways I could go about it. I could like make it an almost radioactive green.
I feel if you want radioactive, the current green works.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll see how it goes, but the client's happy with how it's going thus far, which is the biggest thing.
I think it looks like the right direction.
Well, we'll see. All right, let us move on. Next up, we've got more from Rowan.
Rumble say, I'm the same, and I don't know how much food it would take to get that big.
Oh yeah, no. Like Let's move on from that terrible discussion.
We can always ask Warhammer how these people came to that you know.
And it's your last chance to watch that video. So if you don't know what Warhammer is about, and we talking about Warhammer, you know. All right, so
inside a joke. All right, Rowan has said update. Rain day equals painting. Indeed.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Well, it means that he doesn't have to work on site.
That's fair, yeah.
But yeah, I think this thing is looking great. The teeth have really come out. The eyes come out. I like the timber.
Like everything is very readable here.
I wouldn't agree with that. But not because of the painting, but because of the photo. Because right here, the goblins themselves are hard to read because they competing with the background. But right here, all of this stuff, which I can read no problems, I think is looking really good.
Yeah, I have nothing to add here.
Yeah, really. I think the goblin's coming up a lot better there. And I also like the action of the pose. But I really need to see it like with a bit of a background, because as it stands, I'm having a lot of trouble reading some of them. I think the goblin looks good here, but I'm not sure what's going on. Is he not wearing pants? What's happening
Where's
here?
the goblin without pants?
In the
Oh
top
yeah, I
bit.
see a bum. I see a. Oh no, wait. Is that a bum?
See, I don't know what's going on there. Like,
Yeah.
does he have like a cloth stapled to his butt? Like, I'm not sure what's going on
I
there.
don't know.
But yeah, so I think this is coming up really nice. Let's get some pictures with a background. All right.
We've got our beloved Mr. Alex.
Oh, it looks like I opened that one up twice. What is happening?
I don't know.
I think maybe this one got opened twice when I clicked on this one. All right.
Not much to say about this one. I've been away from the table for a bit due to life being a thing. However,
life does happen, dude. Don't worry too much about it.
However, today I pulled out my iron signet project from a dark and dusty shelf and put a small amount of work in. It's still pretty rough at the moment, but small steps.
Yeah, no, I think it's looking good. Like, obviously, still not finished. I think this is going with that squig that he was doing the other day.
Ah.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but I think that the gold's looking good. I think that the skin's looking good. Also, I like how he does this. He does the knuckles with a more dusty effect. I think
that's to show like the blood, like pinkish blood.
Yeah, but I think like going for more the pink might be better. But this might just be his start there. Like he starts with the sort of dusty beige, color, and then goes to. I'd almost say that's a dust color, like a sand color.
The beige. It's the same beige you use here, but it's because it's a much thinner application.
Okay.
It looks like the dusty color.
But yeah, no, I think it's looking good. And also, dude, don't be too worried about life. I mean, like, it happens to the best of us.
He's riding a purple squig.
Yeah, I remember.
I feel like I don't remember seeing the purple.
It's been ages since Alex has posted this guy. Because Alex has worked on a Necron commission between then.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so, like, him painting for himself has been quite a while, and so like
I remember a squig, but I thought that was a blue squig.
Yeah, and then he went on to his next squig.
Okay, then I don't remember that squig.
All right, so
we've got Connor once again. Update on the flayed wand.
Oh, is that it? Okay. Yeah, I was waiting for.
That's
for
it.
more.
That's all the words. I'm like trying to analyze.
Because you just sort of like stopped it. I was like, where's the rest of it?
Yeah, I'm like thinking about how I feel about it.
You preferred it the other way, didn't you?
I did prefer it the other way.
Well, I don't think this looks bad. I like this right here with the sort of dripping.
Yeah.
But
I think it's the flash photography that's throwing things off.
Well, he has done it in both flash and not flash.
But the lighting for the not flash is still not.
Yeah. Well, I think.
See, like that one. This is a good lighting without a flash.
I think I'll agree with Sunny and say I think I like it better the other way. Yeah, I think like so. This arm right here, I think looks really good. But when we take a look at like this right here, it feels overdone.
Yeah.
I
don't mind the blood on the metal parts.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. But it's more the flesh of the head and that hand. That feels a bit now.
All right, let us move on to the next one. Oh, this one's really nice.
Wow, look at this, Tomas. The Cream Lord. I've been quite busy lately, so haven't much time to paint a lot. More so to post anything. But finally I have something. Draken Celestus. From Storm of Celestus Warband. Nothing fancy, just relaxing, straightforward job. I have not seen a Storm cast with such a dress before.
So this is from the Warhammer Underworlds.
Oh.
That's why you can see the base is built in. So take a look at the base and you see that it's built in there.
Yeah.
I think like this is a very sort of GW style paint job, right? But executed much better because
Yeah, agreed.
instead of like wash and build up, it's just he's built it up naturally. I think it looks really nice. This is another one of those ones where I feel like he's done what he set out to do. So like the only criticism I would give is like this cream right here feels a little yellowish and could be brightened a little more. And that's it. Like that's literally all of the.
I just love the gold.
Yeah, no, the gold looks very nice. It looks like he's done a true metallic metal here. So you see along there, we see that, but that could just be the lighting.
The back has a lot of gold, but not much contrast. Rumble Roo say.
All right, yeah, but I mean, like, that's okay because when I take a look at this sort of thing, right, you've got to remember where are you going to put your effort. If this is going to be facing your opponent, you know.
Yeah.
I really like this model. I think it looks great. Rumble Roo is right though that the back seems to be doesn't have the level of effort that the front has.
But I feel like the gold thingy chain stuff here.
Yep.
It really disappears into the cream.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is that
particular.
Is that his fault or is that the fault of the sculpt? You know, like, what is he going to paint it? A steel color? Actually, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, steel color.
Maybe a steel color or a brass, like a very dark gold sort of thing, like
or even
a relic sort of thing.
Even
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like a really dark gold, like a brass. Yeah. All right. So next up. Who do we have?
We've got Andy.
Andy.
Hold on, let me just.
I feel like with Andy's one, I look at it and I'm just like, get a light box, because like there is a lot going on here,
and I think still decent enough, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, well, like, okay, give me a moment. So I've got to zoom in a lot to get to what I'm talking about. So look at this gold right here, and look at some of these other parts that he's done. Like they all look really nice. Yeah. I think that he's put a tremendous amount of effort in, and like you can see the little sheen lines and that sort of thing, and like all of these little highlights. And like I have to zoom in and hope that I see it. Whereas I feel like if you just put it in the light box, it'll be a lot easier. But the other thing is, I know it's not completely finished, right? It's a work in progress, right?
Is that what you said?
You haven't read out.
I haven't said anything?
No.
Okay. I haven't done a lot of painting over the past few weeks, but got to do some this evening. Sister of Battles, a Sister Dogmata, I think. Which I worked on this evening. Still need to do a base, and I think might be missing a piece, but never mind. But really happy with how she turned.
Well, the only thing that I would say is I feel like he needs to add depth to the cloth. I feel like the highlights are good, but add some depth. I think the cream on the back isn't as good as the red on the front.
I think it needs to be smoothed out.
Blended a bit
more. But he's got the right colors going. Just needs to blend it out.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. And once again, in a light box, because I feel like we're not getting
the full appreciation.
All right, and here's your post to tell everybody that there will be a stream.
And
next up,
it's R.J. Warren.
R.J. Warren.
Just blah.
You know what? It's the not Larry, because he's not been on. Larry. He's told us he'll be on, and then he's
gone forever, dude.
Well, he fell asleep, and like I'm like, and I feel that.
He hasn't posted the most updated of the updated one. Which has all the black.
But I feel like this is Galactus 2.0.
Oh yeah. He's just doing up some simple stuff at the moment because
just getting stuff started.
Yeah, because he hasn't been feeling the mood, or so he has said in the Discord.
I don't get how he can have this many projects on the run. Like we've got, I think, 5 or 6 projects at the moment.
Well.
So
maybe he doesn't need to film it like we do, and we
well,
have to like
that's
think
true
so
enough.
much.
So I've got the
He
big
can just
Papa
sort of
Nurgle.
paint.
I've got
the Lord of Change. Got a Bellicor.
Yep, but got the Star Wars.
Star Wars,
which I'm meant to get a lot more done today, and I also have and you've got the Vespers.
the Hivestorm guys.
And we've got the
But I can sort of
Tempestus.
Yeah, the Aquilons.
Yeah, so there's, but it seems like we have way less projects than him on the go. He seems to have infinite projects on the go. I don't know how you managed to.
But I feel like
if
he's just sort of, if he doesn't have to do all this extra side-on stuff, he can sort of have the time to go, okay, let's do something different. While I don't feel the mood for doing this project. So once I'm done with this project, I'm bored with it now, I'll go back to that other project that I abandoned, and maybe he rotates like that, you know?
All right, so next up we have Jay.
Whilst I am bored, experiment on Heat Blue. Probably not the right weapon for it, but hey ho.
I think it's coming up really well. Well, I think it's come up really well.
I love the glow effect.
I think the only thing that I would say, if you could add to it, is a thin line of white in the middle. What do you no?
No? Because if you look at the inside of your hair dryer when you turn it on, this is what it looks like.
That is such a woman answer. You must look to hairdryer to understand how these weapons work. Okay, all right, me there.
Well,
yep.
I mean, you could do a bit more white if you want it to really show super hot, but I like it as it.
Yeah, I think all of it looks really nice. So I think as far as an experiment goes, it is a success. Hypothesis proven. Hypothesis.
Potatoes proven.
Potatoes proven.
Now it is time for Larry.
It is time for Larry.
Rook. How do I say it? Rook or rookie?
I'm okay.
Rookie, yeah. Turned off your. Oh. Rook, yeah. No. Turned off your targeting squig. Oh, okay.
Okay.
What's
do you want
wrong?
me?
You gotta do the accent.
Rook, you turn off your targeting squig. What's wrong with you? Nothing. I'm alright.
Did I have something else? Hand dryer? I understand both words, but together? Look at the rumble room. Anyhow. I did have some details. Added some gold to clean up a few messes. Added some rust in a couple of places to get that process started and see how it's looking before I start doing lots of it. Also, sponged some gold on the hood skull to see if it looks convincingly peeled or abraded off. Still gotta work on the little minions and rocket launcher before touching them, and all that work on the dashboard. And this is all you see. Oh well, good practice. Keep on tracking.
So I think this part I really like. So right here, he's done that little screen. And it's like one of those old 80s sort of video game tracking in sort of thing. I do think that you see a lot more of the dashboard that you may think when it comes to all of this stuff. Like all of those little doodads in there do come out quite a bit. I do feel, however, that the steel is quite flat at the moment. What do you think?
Where's steel? This steel?
So some of this steel here, but more particularly like the steel up here.
Yeah, I could use a wash.
Yeah, something. Just like either that or give it a shine or something, because that feels a bit flat. And like he's put so much work into this. Like I feel like there's like layers underneath here which need to be revealed. I feel like it needs one of those things where
X-ray.
No, like where you like use the thinning paint or something, or like the paint that, not actual paint thinner, but like I don't know.
Chipping medium, is that it? No?
Yeah, usually it would be chipping medium, like to reveal the stuff underneath, because he's done so many little things. So I'm so used to all of this having some depth. I think this looks cool the way that he's done the skull here. I think the rust needs a little bit of color variation. And the reason why I say this when it comes to a lot of this is he's obviously put a lot of work into this guy here. So I think if you're going to put some work in, you may as well put all the work in, if you understand what I'm saying. But he is not yet finished, so we'll not give him too much of a hard time. But while that's happening, I'm going to hit this, and we'll see anything more comes up.
No, that's the last.
All right. So, let's do what I have done every other time, and I will open up one of our pictures. We will take a look at some peoples together. Let's take a look. Do we have a good picture of these guys? Do that, and then we'll close out. Yeah, that looks nice. We'll bring down. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that each and every one of you has a fantastic week. I hope that all of you have enjoyed this little podcast and review, and I hope that you guys have gotten something out of it. And obviously, when it comes to feedback, we try our best to be honest and give proper critique. So many of these paint jobs here are absolutely fantastic, and some of them, to be and
Bingo. Ah, honey. Yoink, my ponytail's so hot.
I was just playing with your hair. All right, but yes, let's see if anybody got a bingo. We'll have to check the card. All right, so
I played bingo with Cal yesterday while we were out when he opened his can, and I said, "Oh, can opened, bingo."
All right, so Cal talks about commissions. I haven't complained, so let's see.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let's see. What was
Miniature
this?
showcase.
Miniature showcase. Painting misconception. Painting stream. Oh no painting stream. So I don't think it's a bingo just yet. But what I will say is, when it comes to some of the paintings we've seen on here, especially I go back to Derek Wong, and I'm like, that's absolutely amazing piece of art there. I think about what Iskander showed as well. These are absolutely fantastic pieces of art. They're beautiful. There's
a lot of effort.
Yeah, you can see a lot of results, but I feel like there's this feeling of toxic positivity which goes on in the hobby, where people will just praise to no end. And the thing is, these are good paint jobs. Make no mistake, these are fantastic paint jobs. But as artists, we do notice our mistakes. And like was shown with that picture before of, let me go through every single mistake that I made with this art thing. It's true. It is very much true. So if we have somebody tell us honest feedback, we feel better about what we've done right and what we've done wrong. When it comes to these sorts of things, I think that's what we've got to take a look at. Now, I know that I've done things wrong with that Nurgle piece. I can't remember who said it, but somebody said still too green. That might have been Iskander.
I think so.
And like, man's not wrong, right? When it comes to a lot of these things, we have to be able to say, hey, I did stuff up there. Because if we don't say that, if we can't allow ourselves that moment where we say, hey, yeah, no, I was at fault at this point here. If we shift all of the blame onto something else, like, oh, how dare he, say this, that, or the other. Like, he doesn't know the effort that I put in, something like that. It doesn't translate. It doesn't help you. You don't improve because of that. So I'm so glad to have the community that we have. And I really do hope that I've been helpful for all of you guys. All right. I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us. And as always, keep those brushes wet. Bye bye.